Hello, my name is Tanner Carr and I am 5th grader at Fulton Elementary School. This is George Van Orden from the Marines. Thank you for letting us interview you today to find out more about your career as a Marine. What did you eat when you were on duty?
Chow. Marines eat chow. That could be powdered eggs. It could come out of a can. It can come out of a bag. If you're on survival, you can eat you eat dandelions, worms. It's hard to pick one thing, but you eat a lot of things.
What kinds of ships are you on when you're fleet?
The Navy has two different groups. They're called Blue Water Navy, and the shallow water is the amphibious ships, and that's what Marines serve on. They've got a ramp that lowers in the back and lets amphibious machines move you to the beach. So Marines serve a lot on ships.
How many people have died in the Marines?
There's no way to, thousands. We go back to Civil War era, pre-Civil War era, so tens of thousands. The Marines are the smallest of the major services, but a lot of Marines have died in the line of duty.
How long do you get to sleep on duty?
On duty, you don't sleep.
Well, not on duty. How long do you get to sleep?
Sometimes 8 hours, sometimes 4. When I was a drill instructor, I probably averaged 4 to 5 hours at the most of sleep for 2.5 years.
How do you earn badges?
By badges are considered like shooting badges, things of that nature. Your ribbons, when you see somebody that has ribbons, those are either you were in a unit that did something, or you went overseas, or you were personally recognized for an honorable duty.
Do you drive tanks?
No, I never drove tanks. I was a foot guy.
Is your work hard?
Hard but fun.
What kind of planes do you have?
Marine Corps has helicopters. It has jets. They don't fly way up like Air Force, things like that. We have close air support. Ground troops call for close air support.
Could you die on your job?
Could you die on the job? Sure could.
What weapons do you use?
Everything you got. We've got everything from individual weapons, from your pistol and your rifle, to machine guns, to mortars, tanks, artillery, aircraft, you name it, we got it.
How is having good character important in your job?
Because you have to be trusted by your other Marines. When you go into battle with one another, you have to know that the guy on your left and right are going to do the right thing. They have to trust you, and you have to act accordingly. How
do you use reading in your job?
Reading? A lot. You have orders that you publish prior to an operation called a 5-paragraph order. You have to read. You have to write out your plan. Everything is prearranged, or you have to prepare for everything you do, and reading is a big part of that.
How do you use math in your job?
Math is huge as well. When I served, I was a demolition man that blew things up. You have to know how to calculate how much explosives to cut down a tree, to blow up a bridge, to cut steel. There are formulas, there are algebraic formulas that you have to figure out to be able to cut what you want, steel, wood, whatever.
Do you need to go to college to have your job?
You do not need to be in college to be an enlisted Marine, but to be an officer, or what they call an unrestricted officer, yes, you do have to have college.
Do you like your job?
I'm retired now, but I enjoyed it. I did it for 22 years, as did my dad, his dad, and his dad before him, since 1896. When George Van Orden has been of age, he's joined the Marines and retired.
Do you have any equipment that you use in your job that you would like to show us?
I brought these 3 swords. This was my great-grandfather's sword. This one dates to 1896. See there, George Van Orden. When he retired, he gave this to his son, my grandfather, also George Van Orden. The sword was old then, so my father couldn't use it. So my father had used this sword from 1961 until he retired. It's the name George Van Orden. And when I was enlisted through Staff Sergeant, this was my sword. I was given this one for being the honor graduate of Drill Instructor School. This is an enlisted sword. When I became an officer years later, I carried my dad's sword. So these two swords here represent four generations of Marines, over 106 years of service with those two swords. And this one is 14 years of my enlisted time. And they're ceremonial. Back a long time ago, they used swords as weapons. These are ceremonial swords.
Thank you for your time today and teaching us about your job as a Marine. This is Tanner Carr signing off for Fulton Elementary School.
You're welcome.